Car show. You've just tuned into the single most defining moment in our collective understanding of hypercar physics. And if you want to keep seeing machines that bend light and warp time itself, do me a profound favor and click that subscribe button. Because the vehicle you see carving a line against this impossible sunset is the Spectra VX, the machine that arrives not from a conventional manufacturer, but from a clandestine consortium of aerospace engineers. And its story is one of silent, beautiful, and utterly brutal dominance. A narrative forged in the crucible of speed and high-voltage power. The track surface beneath its tires still held the day's heat, shimmering slightly as the last rays of sun caught the polished carbon of the asphalt, providing the perfect atmospheric canvas for the car's monochrome drama. Its bodywork, sculpted into a low, uncompromising wedge, was finished in a bespoke, non-reflective obsidian black carbon Kevlar monocoque, a composite structure chosen not only for its immense strength and negligible weight, helping the Spectra VX achieve a targeted curb weight of just 3,650 pounds, but also for its unparalleled ability to dissipate the electromagnetic radiation generated by its massive powertrain. This black armor was interrupted only by the aggressive, sharply defined taillight bar, a strip of fiery red that spanned the rear, beneath which pulsed the car's true visual signature, a network of neon blue electroluminescent accents that traced the lines of the expansive, functional active ground effect diffuser and, most strikingly, framed the colossal wheels in glowing rings of pure kinetic light. The entire vehicle seemed to float in its own aura, a silent apex predator moving through a world that was still operating in outdated, mechanical dimensions. The sensory details of the pre-drive ritual were as unnerving as they were exhilarating. There was no engine sound, only the faint, high-frequency whine of power electronics cooling, and the quiet, almost mechanical snick as the single active aero wing, a twin-pillar carbon blade that provided up to 200 pounds of downforce at the car's top speed, made its final calibrated check. The heart of the Spectra VX is its revolutionary quad-motor all-wheel drive, AAWD electric system, a setup that dictates every aspect of the car's structural engineering and blistering performance. This is not a repurposed sedan architecture. This platform was built entirely around a proprietary, segmented solid-state battery pack, designed to occupy the entirety of the floor plan, contributing to an incredibly low center of gravity. This battery pack operates on a 950-volt electrical architecture, a voltage level chosen for its capacity to handle extreme charging rates and deliver instant power with minimal thermal loss and resistance. The energy density of this solid-state solution grants the car a projected usable capacity of 135 kWh, translating into an estimated real-world 400-mile track-capable range that utterly obliterates the performance range compromise seen in earlier electric hypercars. Each of the 4 bespoke axial flux electric drive units, miniaturized and integrated directly into the wheel hubs, works in perfect electronic symphony, allowing for millisecond precise torque vectoring that can shift power from the inside to the outside wheel mid-corner, faster than any mechanical differential could ever hope to achieve. The combined output of these 4 motors is a fictional, yet verifiable, 2,050 horsepower, and an equally monumental 1,050 pound-feet of instantaneous torque. Settling into the cockpit, a carbon shell seat molded specifically for high-G sustained lateral loads. The lack of traditional buttons or gauges was immediately apparent. The dashboard was a single arcing 36-inch holographic display, projecting performance data onto the windshield in fluid, kinetic neon blue graphics that mirrored the external lighting signature. The system displayed the car's readiness with a single, calm word: engaged. The immense power was managed via a single, polished titanium rotary dial in the center console, which cycled through the 3 primary modes: commute, track, and apex. Selecting track mode elicited a barely perceptible tremor through the carbon floor, accompanied by the visible drop of the chassis height by a calibrated 30 millimeters, optimizing the car's stance for maximum aerodynamic efficiency. But the most significant technological fact was tied directly to the aesthetics. the glowing blue rings around the immense 20-inch forged magnesium wheels. These rings were the visual tell for the active thermoelectric rim cooling, ATEC system. In a hyper EV, brakes and power electronics generate immense heat. The ATEC system acts as a peripheral heat sink, drawing thermal energy away from the carbon ceramic brake discs and converting excess heat from the drive units into usable electricity, simultaneously cooling the system and extending the car's operational range. A perpetual motion machine designed for the digital age, a fact that truly separates the Spectra VX from its competitors. Launching the Spectra VX was less like driving and more like being teleported. The official figures, a 60 mph acceleration, time of 1.7 seconds and a projected top speed of 50 felt almost quaint compared to the visceral reality of the instantaneous power delivery. The sound was not the crackle of fire, but the rising digital shriek of thousands of amperes rushing through copper, a noise that spoke of efficiency rather than violence. It was in the high-speed corners of the track where the Spectra VX demonstrated its true dominance, proving that it wasn't the 2050 horsepower that mattered most, but the management of that power. As the car tore toward the apex, the active aerodynamics worked in perfect conjunction with the underbody system. The active aero wing instantly adjusted its angle of attack by up to 15 degrees to pin the rear axle, while the active ground effect diffuser beneath the car, the source of that mesmerizing blue glow, sucked the car onto the asphalt. This diffuser utilized a complex array of variable vanes and boundary layer suction fans to generate consistent, speed-independent downforce, allowing the Spectra VX to sustain a truly terrifying 2.3 Gs of lateral cornering force, a figure usually confined to open-wheel racing. The driver's mind struggled to keep pace with the G-load, the sheer gravitational weight of the cornering effort pressing violently into the carbon seat, demanding absolute focus. The car's intelligence core, known simply as Orion, was always 2 steps ahead. The active damping system and the multi-chamber air suspension micro-adjusted the chassis thousands of times per second, managing the weight transfer with an unnatural digital perfection, eliminating the natural drift and slip that defined older hypercars. The feeling wasn't one of fighting the machine, it was one of fusing with it, becoming a seamless part of a perfect kinetic system. Even the brake pedal felt wired directly to the core of the planet. The colossal carbon ceramic discs and the regenerative braking systems, capable of recovering up to 600 kilodalars of energy back into the battery, worked in such flawless harmony that the deceleration was as shocking and instantaneous as the acceleration. After a sustained run of 10 full throttle laps, the holographic display showed the battery temperature in the optimal 35 to 40 degrees Celsius range, thanks to the ATEC cooling and the segregated thermal loops, proving the architecture was built for relentless abuse. The Spectra VX is not just a car built for performance. It is a machine engineered to redefine endurance and reliability at the absolute limit of speed. It is a terrifying glimpse into a future where the constraints of physics are simply problems to be solved with better electricity and smarter carbon. A vessel of pure technological will, rendered in matte black and neon blue. A true apex predator that silently rules the racetrack, leaving only a shimmering heat haze and the faint scent of ozone in its wake. It is the end of the mechanical age and the dawn of the digital century of speed. Thank you for joining us on Car Show for the story of the Spectra VX. Best wishes and safe travels.